The sun dipped low as the disciples gathered, the bodhi tree offering its shade. The Buddha sat calmly, radiating peace. His eyes, deep as the ocean, rested on me. The air was still, charged with anticipation. "What troubles your heart, my friend?" the Buddha asked gently. I hesitated, feeling the weight of my uncertainty. "Master, can one truly live doing what they love?" I asked softly. The Buddha's gaze remained steady, his presence unwavering. "Life is a journey of discovery," he began, his voice serene. "Let me share a story with you," he said. The disciples leaned closer, their attention unwavering. "Once, there was a young artist in a distant village," the Buddha continued. The disciples exchanged thoughtful glances, their understanding beginning to deepen. The Buddha paused, allowing silence to settle before continuing. The artist's love for painting, however, could not be extinguished, the Buddha said. He would rise early, painting before the day's labor began, the Buddha continued. One day, a traveling merchant visited the village seeking shelter, the Buddha shared. The artist offered his humble home. Showing kindness to the merchant, he said. The merchant noticed a painting on the wall. Vibrant with life, the Buddha narrated. It was a painting of a sunrise, capturing hope and renewal, the Buddha said. The merchant asked, "Who created this masterpiece?" With admiration, the Buddha recounted. The artist, with humility, admitted, "It is my work," the Buddha said. The merchant, impressed, asked to buy the painting for his caravan, the Buddha narrated. The artist hesitated, conflicted by his family's disapproval of painting, the Buddha shared. The merchant reassured him. "Your art brings joy to the world," the Buddha said. Inspired, the artist sold the painting and shared his earnings with his family, the Buddha narrated. His family, seeing the value, began supporting his love for painting, the Buddha said. The artist continued painting, transforming lives with his vibrant colors, the Buddha concluded. The disciples sat quietly, reflecting on the profound story. Living by what you love brings light to the world, the Buddha said. But such a life requires courage and unwavering dedication, he added. I felt a stirring within, clarity seeping into my heart. Master, how does one find courage in the face of doubt? I asked earnestly. The Buddha smiled, his expression calm yet knowing. Doubt is the shadow cast by your inner light, he replied. Acknowledging doubt opens the path to clarity and strength, he continued. The artist faced doubt, yet he followed his heart with devotion, he explained. Each step forward, despite doubt, brings you closer to your truth, the Buddha said. His words were like the morning dew, refreshing my spirit. So, how does one know their love serves a greater purpose? I asked. The Buddha's gaze turned toward the horizon, soft yet profound. When your love radiates beyond self, it serves the world, he answered. The artist painted for his joy, yet it uplifted many lives, the Buddha added. A love that unites self and others is the purest form of love, he explained. Do not fear living by what you love. It is your dharma, the Buddha said. The universe supports those who walk their path with sincerity, he concluded. His words resonated deeply, anchoring in my heart. The disciples rose, bowing in gratitude, their minds lighter. The bodhi leaves rustled gently, the evening embracing the teachings. As we dispersed, the Buddha's words lingered, guiding my thoughts. I felt the beginning of a transformation within, profound and enduring. Another day, another moment beneath the sacred bodhi tree. The Buddha sat with his disciples, the air serene and cool. I approached the Buddha cautiously, doubt lingering within me, and his gaze fell upon me with gentle understanding. What weighs upon your heart today, my friend? The Buddha asked, his voice steady and comforting. I hesitated, wrestling with my inner turmoil, before finding the courage to speak my truth to him. Master, fear clings to me. and I wonder how to pursue my dreams without falling into despair, I confessed. The Buddha's face softened as he gestured to the flickering flame of a nearby oil lamp. Do you see this flame? He asked, his tone inviting reflection and thought. It trembles in the wind, yet it persists in its light, the Buddha explained, his voice unwavering. Let me share a story with you, the Buddha continued, his words calm as the flowing river. The disciples listened intently, the silence filled with anticipation and reverence for his wisdom. Once, there was a farmer who dreamed of growing a garden full of vibrant flowers, the Buddha began. He prepared the soil diligently, planting seeds with care and nurturing them daily, the Buddha said. His voice steady, the rains were kind, and the garden began to bloom. Vibrant and fragrant, the Buddha narrated, his tone soothing. But one season, the rains stopped, and the sun grew harsh, causing the flowers to wither, he said. The farmer faced despair, his dreams crumbling before his eyes, the Buddha recounted, his tone tinged with sorrow. Yet, he did not abandon his garden. Continuing to tend the soil and protect the roots, the Buddha explained. When the rains returned, new seeds grew, and his garden bloomed again, the Buddha added, his voice calm. The farmer's persistence brought his dream to life. Despite adversity, the Buddha said, his gaze steady upon me. Fear is the wind that makes your flame tremble, but it need not extinguish your light, he explained. His words resonated deeply, like echoes in the chamber of my heart, offering clarity and strength. Master, how does one persevere when their efforts seem hopeless? I asked, my voice soft but resolute. The Buddha smiled, his eyes filled with infinite patience and boundless compassion for my struggle. Hope lies not in certainty, but in the act of creation itself, he replied, his words profound. Each action you take, fueled by love and sincerity, shapes the path ahead, the Buddha explained. The farmer did not give up, and his persistence gave life to his garden, the Buddha added. Each flower in his garden testified to his unwavering dedication and love, the Buddha said. His words illuminated the shadows within me, shining light upon my path like the morning sun. The disciples sat quietly, absorbed in the depth of the Buddha's wisdom and the peace of his presence. What matters is not success alone, but the joy of pursuing what you love, the Buddha said. His words unraveled the threads of my doubt, stitching them into clarity and understanding. I bowed deeply, gratitude filling my heart, as the bodhi leaves swayed in harmony with the breeze. His teachings lingered in the air, resonating with truth and guiding me forward through the haze of my fears. Another day, another gathering under the sacred bodhi tree. The Buddha sat in quiet reflection. His disciples assembled around him. The air hummed with tranquility as I approached, my steps hesitant, seeking clarity to fill my restless heart. The Buddha's gaze fell upon me, his expression serene, inviting me to speak without hesitation or fear of judgment. Master, I seek wisdom on living by what I love without attachment clouding my path, I said with sincerity. The Buddha's eyes sparkled like the rising sun, his presence steady and calm as he prepared to answer my question. Let me tell you a story, the Buddha began, his tone measured and deliberate, inviting attention. The disciples shifted closer, their anticipation filling the air, awaiting the wisdom concealed within his words. Once, there was a musician whose love for playing the flute brought him profound joy, the Buddha narrated. The musician practiced diligently, each note expressing the depth of his spirit and the purity of his art, the Buddha said. One evening, he played by the riverbank, the melody enchanting the birds and the flowing water alike, the Buddha recounted. A nobleman passing by heard the music and approached, asking the musician to perform at a grand feast, the Buddha explained. The musician accepted with humility and played at the feast, his melodies captivating all who listened, the Buddha continued. Guests applauded his talent, showering him with gifts and praise for his exceptional music, the Buddha said. The musician accepted the gifts with gratitude. Yet he did not allow them to inflate his ego, the Buddha added. He understood that his love for music was its own reward, untainted by worldly desires, the Buddha explained. When the feast ended, he returned to the riverbank and continued to play with the same devotion, the Buddha shared. He did not seek approval or fame but remained true to the joy his music brought him, the Buddha said. His love flowed through him, connecting his spirit with the beauty of the world, the Buddha concluded. Silence enveloped us as the story's depth sank in, resonating deeply within my heart and mind. Live by what you love, but let your love be free from the chains of attachment, the Buddha said. Attachment clouds the purity of your heart and limits the boundless potential of your love, the Buddha explained. Love is like a river. It nourishes all that it touches when it flows freely, the Buddha said. I bowed my head, his wisdom unraveling the confusion that had troubled my spirit for so long. Master, how does one live without becoming ensnared by praise or rejection? I asked earnestly. The Buddha smiled, his gaze steady and profound, his wisdom prepared to ease my concerns. Do not seek validation, for the truth of your love lies within, not in the eyes of others, he replied. Praise may lift you, rejection may wound you, but both are fleeting as the passing breeze, he explained. The musician played not for applause but for the joy that flowed through his soul, the Buddha said. When your love aligns with your being, it transcends the impermanence of praise and rejection, he explained. His words poured into me, clearing the fog of doubt and anchoring my spirit in unwavering clarity. The disciples sat in stillness, absorbed in the depth and timelessness of the teachings being shared. Love is not possession, but a way of being that illuminates your path and those around you, the Buddha said. To live by what you love is to embrace its gift with humility and reverence, he added. Do not resist love, but let it flow through you, uniting your essence with the world, he concluded. As his words settled over us, the bodhi leaves swayed gently, as if moved by the truth they carried. I felt a profound shift within, a newfound understanding anchoring me in the teachings of the Buddha. The disciples bowed deeply, their gratitude expressed in the quiet stillness of the sacred space. The wisdom of the Buddha lingered in the air, guiding hearts and minds forward on their paths. As the gathering dispersed, I carried the Buddha's words within me, their clarity a beacon for my journey. Another day, another moment of truth revealed beneath the sacred Bodhi tree, eternal in its presence. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.